I am making this video as an official request to please close the window once in a while in winter when we have minus 1,000 degrees outside. Patrick! Welcome and welcome back to Explaining Humans. I am very happy to see you here. Please show that you're here by hitting that like button or pushing it very lightly, whichever you prefer. I'm Margarita and I'm going to show you, but particularly my dearest Patrick, the scientific evidence that says that I'm not just saying that I'm cold to get on his nerves. Did you hear that? He will at the latest when this is online one. So now, let's get right into it. Reason number 1. Women produce less heat than men. Due to the higher metabolism rate men have, this is unfair and I would like to officially complain about that to a manager or something, which means that they not only burn more calories, but they are also able to heat up because of burning them. Reason number 2. Women tend to have colder extremities. Now, let me see who here has freezing cold hands or feet right now. Oh, YouTube doesn't work that way. You can write it down below though. And I bet it's more women than men, and there's a biological reason for that. That isn't even new. Back in 1998, the study found that women's core body temperatures were slightly higher than men's, while their hands were always substantially colder than those of men. Like, really a lot, 3 degrees. This difference may be caused by the fact that women need to keep their reproductive systems as hot as possible, so their body is able to pull back as much heat as possible. Actually, just not letting the blood get into areas near the skin surface where it is more likely to get colder. Which means that the extremities are the first ones to get cold. This basically means that women's blood vessels are not very effective in keeping the skin warm. I don't want to say they are shit, because that would be disrespectful and condemning the evolution of millions of years, but just saying. Did you see how cute my shirt is? Okay, and from here, now I'm gonna get a blanket because I'm freezing just by talking about this topic. Reason number 3, muscles. The average man has more muscle mass and less fat than the average woman. Muscles are a very effective heating mechanism for the body. So conclusion, more muscles make more heat. What? No, I didn't hear anything, did you? No, I'm not going to start exercising more. Now, why would I? I don't understand what you mean. Reason number 4. The temperature variations throughout the menstrual cycle. Women have a menstrual cycle which comes with a lot of swings in the basal resting body temperature. Imagine a month in which every day has exactly the same weather and temperature conditions. A woman will have a higher temperature around ovulation, for example, which also makes her feel warmer than on other days. And lastly, reason number 5. Even though we are called the naked ape, we can all agree that men have more hair on their body, partly for biological reasons and partly for aesthetic reasons and the peer pressure of shaving or lasering away their hair. By the way, I can totally recommend lasering. It makes life so much easier. Which, as we know, are in all animals functioning as a thermoregulatory structure. And the proof for that is shaving your hair, which will grow back in half an hour if you're cold, just to protect you. I don't want to be cold, but I also don't want to be as hairy. Can we please just close the window? This next one does not help my case because this is not an office building or an office. This is actually my blanket, which is hanging down from my bed because we have a tiny apartment with no single free wall I could just stand in front of. But either way, I thought you might want to know that one as well. There is this study from 2015 which said that office buildings set their thermostats back in the 60s according to the temperature optimum of men, which might have been okay when the offices were predominantly populated by men, which in itself is not okay, but that's another story. Also, the attire needs to be considered. Men are always in any weather dressed up in fancy multi-layered suits and tight ties. Well, dress less and we'll be fine with dressing more, but do not force us into freezing without making any effort and just claiming it's always been like that. Because, as Cinderella said, just because that's what's done doesn't mean it's what should be done, wise girl. So to conclude, I should have the sole power of the thermostat, and I promise hereby I will not abuse this power. Thank you very much for listening. Now, please go and tell Patrick I'm right and I have a right to not freeze to death in my own home that we are renting. It's not my own.